Now, this weekend, the best game that we've got is the next one that you'll call Florida State and LSU. And the most overused word in this sport is back. Miami's back. Texas is back. Well, you know, most of the time it's hold on, let's pump the brakes there. But if Florida State gets an opening victory against LSU in their hopes of being back, how big a step would that be if they get this opener against LSU?
Well, I think what's interesting in that game is both teams are trying to be, as you say, back, because LSU with Brian Kelly in the second year showed some signs. They beat Alabama. They showed with Jaden Daniels who they can be. And with Florida State, they lost 3 in a row last year in the middle of the year. It was like, oh, well, here we go again with Florida State. And then they ended up finishing strong and won 6 in a row and ended up with 10 wins, including a bowl win. So that's why there's momentum, and that's why people are saying, here comes Florida State. It wasn't long ago that Mike Norvell was dealing with Twitter and dealing with Deion Sanders needs to be the coach. What are we doing here with this guy? And now he's got some momentum, and the big thing I think he has is a quarterback. Jordan Travis, I think, maybe doesn't have the fanfare of Jaden Daniels and some of the others, but is really a dynamic guy that I think has given them some stability, consistent decision-making. It's not up, down. It's more of just steady, and then he'll mix in some plays that make you go, wow. But I think that's why we're really excited to see. And let's face it, Mike's done a really good job of bringing in some transfer portals to fill some holes. They have some athletic ability as a group that they haven't had in the last couple of years. So I'm anxious to see, especially how this game went a year ago, to see these two big Goliaths go head-to-head on Sunday night.
You mean to tell me, Herbie, that they actually showed a little patience with the head coach and let him develop a culture and bring some people in? I know Florida fans, the last blueprint they would want is the Knowles, but maybe if you just take a deep breath in Gainesville and give the man a chance. Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm calling this game, and all I can think about is what people in Florida are doing watching this game, because back-to-back losing seasons. Billy only had it last year. And then to start the season this way with the miscues, I mean, they were at the end of the first quarter. It was like, okay, they're kind of getting their feet under them. I think they're going to be okay. And then miscue, and then the game's out of reach. And so I think that's the thing that's going to be frustrating for Florida is, are you kidding me? We're doing this again. So they're going to have to get their act together in a hurry, because the Vols with that up-tempo offense are going to be coming to town in a few weeks.
Let's start with the biggest matchup of week one.
Yeah.
Florida State ended last year with that 6-game winning streak. What do you see for them this season, big picture, beyond just this LSU game?
The time is now for Florida State, Scott. Herbie talked about it. They have everything you want. He mentioned Jordan Travis coming back, right? Norvell, I think, is a top 5 play caller in the sport. When you think about Florida State, the quarterback, a stud running back, a great transfer receiver in Keon Coleman from Michigan State, the weakness is not the offensive line anymore. And when you look at the chance, you say, are they back? They have a game here against LSU, and then they go to Clemson at the end of the month. That is a chance to get right back in the picture of everything. Not many teams have that opportunity. I think they do. I'm picking them to do it. Florida State to go to the playoff. Playoff.
You're saying it.
Yep, right now.
Haven't played a game, and you're putting them in the playoff.
Playoff.
Good.
Yeah.
That's fine. I like that.
Okay.
Two teams that have been fixtures in the playoffs, Alabama and Ohio State. They each come into the season with some question marks at quarterback, new quarterbacks. We've seen that mostly the way they recruit, you just plug and play and it's fine. How do you think that the new quarterbacks impact these two programs?
Let's start with Ohio State, right? Ryan Day, I'm not going to worry about the quarterback in his system. It's as friendly a system as there is in college football. When you think about who has played the position, the last 4 quarterbacks for each of these schools, Heisman finalists. 6 of the 8 were top 15 draft picks. So when you talk about what they're coming into, I think the rosters are stacked. When you look at Alabama, they want to get back to running the football. So I don't think the quarterback decision is as important as it has been, because their strength is their run game. They want to get back to that physical play. Their defense is better than it has been. So I trust that situation for both quarterbacks. When you think about Alabama and what they've done, that system that Nick has, and what they bring back, it's a situation.
And you like Reese as well.
Oh, I love Tommy Reese is a great hire. He will play the ball to their strengths. Bama fans will be back to getting that physical mentality and running the football.
Okay, but the idea that you just plug and play, that's fine, right? Remember Clemson?
Yeah.
Lawrence goes to the NFL, and you get Uiagalelei, it'll just be fine.
Yep.
but it wasn't. And Clemson was a program like Georgia where can't do it. Then they do it, and now the expectation is we're just going to do it again. Well, Georgia did. And they changed their quarterback. Do you have concerns about that situation?
This one's more curious to me because now you mentioned Georgia, the expectations are not even realistic.
Right.
And then you look.
It's championship or bust for them.
Yes, championship or bust. And now you have a quarterback who hasn't played meaningful football. Right. I'm not doubting him at all.
Right.
I just think it's a very curious situation. You talk about roster stacked. They have everything you want. A great offensive line, playmakers on the outside. Brock Bowers, the best tight end in the country. But when you think about it's not going to be that easy. You have a new quarterback who hasn't done it. A road game at Auburn early in the season. Let me see what happens there.
Right.
Let me see how they face adversity and how they handle adversity, because that's what you get when you go on the road in conference. Like I said, I'm not doubting it. It's more curious to me to see what happens with the quarterback situation in Athens as opposed to the other two, because they really had a special guy in Bennett.
I'm doing that Brian Gumble thing where I write something down. Kirby right now is just writing down Stanford Steve. And when they win it, their guy's going to be screaming, Stanford Steve said we were terrible.
He's looking for motivation. I get it.
What do you want to do,
Just
Coach?
Curious.
Hunt. Aggression. Their schedule sets up pretty well for them. But that trip down to the Plains will be interesting.
Yeah,
right.
we'll learn a lot.
All right. Well, we learn a lot when Stanford Steve brings a little Stanford education to the program. We're just happy to have him here. He's on loan from game day. Big star. Look at him. Thank you. Coming back for winners?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.